Right. HTML. What is HTML? What is HTML? What is HTML? Hmm.
Advertised markup language.
Yeah. HTML is a HTML HTML is a markup language. HTML is a markup language. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay. So now we need to understand what is markup language. What is markup language? We need to understand what do you mean by markup language. What do you mean by markup language? Markup language is a markup language is a collection of markup tags. Markup language is a collection of markup tags. Markup language is a collection of markup tags. So syntax for markup tag. Syntax for markup tags. Any idea? Syntax for markup tags?
Opening tag, closing tag.
Right. Opening tag, and closing tag. Sorry, instead of that you can write here a tag name, and here tag name, but tag name. But we should start with what? Slash. This is called opening tag. This is called closing tag. This is a syntax for markup tag. Totally, this is called HTML element. Totally, this is called HTML element. Just remember it. Totally, you can call it as a HTML element. HTML element will contain opening tag and closing tag. And example for markup tag is take HTML and HTML. It is called opening tag. It is called closing tag. HTML is the tag name. Are you clear? Finally, we can say markup language is a collection of markup tags and HTML is a markup language. HTML is a markup language. Here I have a question. What is the difference between markup language and programming language? Do you know any programming language?
.NET.
C Sharp, .NET,
C#, Java.
just plus Java are programming languages. But HTML is a markup language. What is the difference between the markup language and programming language?
Markup language
Is
is for
designing the text.
page.
No syntax.
What is the difference between markup language and programming language?
Markup language will define the structure of the page and programming language will add functionality to the page.
Yeah, fine. What you can say, programming language is a collection of statements. In your C# program, you can observe all collection of statements. Finally, you can say programming language is a collection of statements and markup language is a collection of tags. You will have all the tags. And using programming language, you can define some logic, but it is not possible with the help of which language?
Markup.
Markup
Language, we cannot define any logic. And my question is, can you give me some examples of markup languages?
HTML, CSS.
HTML, simple HTML, and take second is XML. XML and HTML both are markup.
Markup language.
Both are markup languages. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. Extensible Markup Language. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. Extensible Markup Language. The difference is using HTML we can develop a static web page. You can develop a web page. Using XML what we can do? Using
We can store
We can store the data. We can store the data.
Using XML, we can store the data, we can transport the data. Remember these 2 points forever. XML and HTML both are markup languages. Both are markup languages. Using HTML, we can develop a web page, and using XML, we can store the data or we can transport the data. We can transport the data. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. Okay. Using HTML we can develop a web page, but using XML we can store the data, we can transport the data. Now our target today is HTML. That's why we are more keen about HTML, and XML will come into the picture as part of this ASP.NET journey. There will get more clarity, right? Features of HTML. Features of HTML. Features of HTML. Any idea? Features of HTML. Language features.
It has predefined tags.
Mm. It is a collection of predefined tags. Predefined tags means, yeah, whether you write a program or me write a program or whoever write HTML program, the tags are fixed. Starting tag will be opening HTML, ending will be closing HTML. Next, it is not case sensitive language. It is not case sensitive language. Not case sensitive language means you can write like this. It is not a case sensitive language. Next, come on. Using HTML, we can develop a web page. Next. Right. Next. We can develop a web page. Next. Come on. It is a collection of predefined tags, and the tags are standard. It is not a case sensitive language. Using this, we can develop a web page. That too, you can develop what web page actually? Static web page. Static web page. Any more points?
It's a client-side
Yeah. HTML
language.
is a client-side web technology. Web technology. Why you are calling web technology? Because which is using to develop a web page. Why client-side? Because HTML code will execute by browser. It will be executing by browser. HTML code will be executed by browser. Right. Next. Hmm. Yeah, using HTML we can develop a web page, means we can control the appearance of a web page. Right. Any more points? Come on. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Any more? Right. So where we will write the HTML code?
Notepad.
Notepad,
HTML
notepad like
code
this.
we will write
Notepad.
within Notepad. We'll write within Notepad. HTML
We will
extension will be
dot HTML.
.html. For example, test2.html. Here test is the web page name and .html is the extension, and this code we are writing within the Notepad. So that is the story about HTML. Minimum features, main features. Structure of HTML program. Structure of HTML program. Suppose if we write a HTML program, what is the structure? Right. You can observe HTML opening tag and HTML closing tag. HTML opening tag and HTML closing tag. Okay. Now here head, head and body and body means HTML program will contain two sections. HTML program can contain how many sections? Two sections. Number one is called head section. Number two is called body section. Body section code will execute. Body section code will execute when the page is loading. That is by default. Head section code will execute. Head section code will execute. Head section code will execute on demand. On demand. So body section code will execute when the page is loading, means whenever you run the page, this part of the code will execute. The code whatever you have written at section will execute on demand. So generally what code we will write in a body section, here we will write a design code. Design code. Design code means appearance code. Maximum appearance code. Appearance code. So appearance code means controls code, especially you can say controls code. And then generally in head section we will write logic, nothing but scripting code. Scripting code will write within the head section. So here a question is when the body section code will execute, right? When the body section code will execute,
When the page is loading.
that is by default. By default body section code will execute, but head section code will execute on
Demand.
demand. Here we need to understand what do you mean by default, what do you mean by on demand. What do you mean by default, what do you mean by on demand? For example, I'll come to the class, I'm speaking, I'm starting my session. That is called my explanation is by default. But when you will respond whenever I will ask the question. So your response is on demand. So my explanation is by default. Your response is on demand. For example, you have a web page. You have a web page. The web page contain a button. The web page contain a button. The web page contain a button. The button is a display. The button is a display. The web page contain a button. The button is display. Whenever page is loading, button will create. Okay. Whenever you click the button, one message I am going to display on web page. Hi. When the button is creating,
And page is
Page
loading.
is
by default, whenever you run the page, you will see what button. The page is creating by default. That is by default code. And whenever you click the button, you want to say you are getting what? Hi.
Hi.
Hi display is by default or on demand?
on
On demand. Only when you click the button, you will get hi. This is on demand. Finally, we should say in body we'll write maximum design code. Design code or appearance code, nothing but controls code. Scripting code will write within the head section. What is scripting, that we will see, but up to that you remember design code will write in body and scripting code will write within the head section. Okay, and this will may change later, but up to here this is the clarity is enough. Design code will write within the body section and the scripting code will write within the head section. So yeah, when body will execute, when
By
the
default and page
page
is
is
loading.
loading, when head will execute,
On
on
demand.
on demand. Page load first or on demand first? Say first or
Page
the
page load will first, on demand will be second. Okay, right. Next, next. Come on. Right. Next. Right. That is the story about this. So now up to here, you need to understand the structure of the HTML and what is the opening tag here,
HTML.
closing
HTML.
tag HTML, and head to opening tag and head to closing tag, body opening tag, body closing tag. Okay, so that is the story. Now, according to this, let's start the programming. Yeah, HTML programming. HTML programming. Where we will write the HTML code?
Notepad.
Okay.
What is the extension of the HTML page?
Dot
Dot
HTML.
HTML.
Dot HTML. Okay, first task is, okay, write a HTML program. Here I have another question. Among this head and body, every time you have to write two sections. So compulsory sections are one or two are
Two.
head section, body section. Compulsory.
One.
One.
Here remember, body is a compulsory section because appearance is compulsory. Head will be optional. Based on if you have on-demand code, then only you will write which section.
Head section.
But appearance will be there always. That's why you will write compulsory section is only one. That is body. And a head is what? Optional section. Okay. Right. Now come back to our discussion. Right. Write HTML program to display one welcome message. One welcome message. Simple. I want to develop one HTML web page. HTML web page. This is my HTML web page. The web page name is test.html. Test.html. The web page name is test.html. My requirement is want to display a small message, normal message. The message is welcome to HTML. The message is welcome to HTML. Welcome to HTML message I want to display. That this message I want to display when the page is loading. When the page is loading, come on, you tell me how you will write the code. First we will open what?
HTML tag.
Notepad.
Notepad.
And first word HTML and HTML. Right. Here for this requirement you need how many sections among head and body?
One section. Body.
One second.
Which section is required now?
Body section.
Only body. Why? Because we don't have any on demand here. We don't have any on demand. Right. Come on, tell me. What is that? Welcome to HTML. That's it. And this is the code. Welcome to HTML. Normal message. And we have to save this page as
Dot HTML.
test.html. Test.html. Okay. Test.html. Your page is ready now. Your page is ready. What is the web page you have created? Test.html. HTML page will be saved in browser mode because it is a client-side technology. You can observe your web page will be saved in browser mode. Now we have to run this page. If you want to run this page, just double click. Whenever you double click, right, whenever you double click, your page is loading. When the page is loading, which section will execute? At the
Body section.
body will execute. First control will execute HTML. It will recognize browser. Who will execute this code? Browser. When the page is loading, body section will execute. When the body section will execute, it is displaying a message called what? Welcome to
HTML.
Welcome to HTML. Now you can observe that welcome to HTML output you got. Are you clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Now my requirement is I want to display other program, that is I want to display like this. First task is write a HTML program to display one welcome message. I want to display two welcome messages this time. I want to display two welcome messages. What are the two welcome messages? You see, this is my web page. The web page is test.html. So instead of two welcome messages, you can say two messages. One is like this. Good morning. First message is good morning. Good morning. And the second message is good evening. Good evening. Can you write this program, all of you guys? How many messages?
Two messages.
Write HTML program, all of you. Write and run in your system, and you have to get the output like this. First good morning, second good evening. Over
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
but output same, two lines.
Yeah.
Run the program. Did you run the program?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me how to get this one. First word good morning. Next good evening. Save. What will happen? But you will get output like this. Good morning, good evening. But if I want to print in the different lines, what should I do? Good morning. Next word.
Break.
Break. You have to use break tag. Save. Okay. You can observe. First good morning. and after that break. Break will be right. How to run this page, guys? How to run this page? Just
Click on the
click on the page. Double click on page and first it will display good morning, and when the page is loading, next what break. Break tag will move watch. Break tag will move to the next line. Next line, and in next line you have written a code. You have written a code. What is that code you have written? Good evening. Then good evening will be displaying. This is the story. Are you clear, everybody?
yes, sir.
We have started very basic markup code. Very simple markup code. The intention behind this is ultimate tomorrow when you are developing your ASP.NET application, that ASP.NET application will contain this only. Why students are unable to write the program means people are going direct attacks. You observe, I am showing you ASP.NET application. Now new project people, teacher doesn't have the patience, students doesn't have the patience to learn the way. There is a way to learn anything. ASP.NET web application, you can observe, whenever you created ASP.NET web application, you observe what is there. Why we have to learn from very scratch? Because every tag you should understand. If you want to understand, you need to start from here. And every program not to write by me. Instead of that, if you will write, you will get a hands-on experience, and every tag you will understand. That is important here. If you will create a ASP.NET application, complete your ASP.NET web page will contain what code? Markup code. That code will be representing with what? Markup code. I'll show you. Right. Meanwhile, we'll write some other heading, some other topic next. That is ASP.NET will support. Sorry, HTML will have heading tags. Heading tags. Using heading tags, we can display the headings. It supports. It supports 6 level of headings. H1 to H6. H1 to H6. It will support 6 level of headings. H1 to H6. Okay. Now you are entered into ASP.NET application. Just I want to show you this ASP.NET application web page. ASP.NET web page. Why we are learning markup language? If you want to understand, new item. I am adding a new web page. I am adding a new web page. Yes, your ASP.NET web page is added to your Solution Explorer. What is the extension of your ASP.NET web page?
.aspx.
.aspx. You can observe. If you will see this page, this is the design of your ASP.NET web page. Design of your ASP.NET web page. This design, if you will open the source, what is the tag? Opening tag is what?
HTML.
Closing tag is what?
HTML.
And head, opening, closing. Body, opening, closing. Okay. So finally, to reach this, we started our programming with what? Notepad. Did you understand, all of you? Right. And HTML will support how many level headings?
6.
6 level headings. Let's see the 6 level headings now. Right. Let's say good morning. Only good morning we'll see. Right. H1 is the biggest heading. H1 is the biggest heading. Now H1, right, H2, H2, next to H3, H3, here H3, H4, 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 H5, H5 and H6. H6. Total how many levels of headings, guys? 6 level of headings. ఓకే రైట్ కొంచెం రెస్పాన్స్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు యాక్టివ్గా చెప్పండి క్లాస్ మరీ డల్ చేస్తున్నారు రైట్ నౌ యూ సీ విచ్ ఈస్ ది బిగ్గెస్ట్ హెడ్డింగ్
H1.
H1.
విచ్ ఈస్ స్మాలెస్ట్
H6.
H6.
H6 is the smallest. Okay, this is the story. Now next come back to your discussion. HTML controls. HTML controls. So to design your HTML web page, you need some controls. Then what is a control? What is a control? What is a control? Control is a predefined functionality. Control is a predefined functionality. For example, button. For example, button, text box. These are all controls. It is already defined, predefined functionality. What is the functionality of text box, Prudvi? What is the functionality of text box?
We can enter the data in text
We can
box.
accept input from the user. We can display output to the user. Like that, every control will have its own functionality. According to our requirements, we'll use particular control. And HTML will support various controls. HTML will support various controls. HTML will support various controls. Number 1, button. Number 2, text box. Number 3, radio button. Number 4, checkbox. Number 5, drop down list. Number 6, table. Number 7, image control, and so on. Okay, let's start with button. Right. What is the importance of button? Why we will use? Have you seen buttons anywhere in your web pages?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Button, login, logout.
Yeah, login, logout. My question is why button? When we will go for button? You are designing one web page. When you will use button?
For login
For what requirement you will use button? You are a developer. You are designing one web page. In that web page, in some place, you are using a control called button. In which requirement? For which requirement or for what exactly you will use button?
If you want to perform any particular operation on any particular, to do a particular operation, if you need any trigger thing,
Very
we
simple.
use button.
Whenever we want to accept a request or command, we'll go for what? Button. For example, login. Login is a request or command. What is that request? Command. I entered my user ID. I entered my password. Please log into some application. Log out. Log in. Next to previous. Submit to display. These are all what controls
Request
or command. Okay.
command.
How to create a button? How to create HTML button? Input type equal to button, value equal to some value called, let's say, submit. Alright, this is the code will create a button. Okay, now input type equal to button, value equal to submit. This is the code will create what? Button. Your input is what?
Button.
Input is a tag name. Type is what?
Attribute.
Attribute. Type is attribute. Button is what? Value. 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 Here we need to understand about finally it is what? Markup tag or not markup tag?
Markup tag.
It's a total markup tag or not? Okay. Yeah. Totally markup tag. Actually this totally called a element. This is called actually what it is called as element. Which element? HTML element. So I'll give you the syntax. Syntax for HTML element is like this. Tag name, attribute, value, attribute, value, and tag name. Totally is called element. Which element? HTML element. Totally will be called HTML element. But this is what tag? Opening tag. This is called which tag?
Closing tag.
Closing tag. Actually in the beginning I given only syntax for tag. Markup tag means I have given just simply I have given tag name, opening tag and closing tag. Just I am extending here. Actually it may contain attributes also. Attribute is nothing but property. Value means whatever value you want to assign. Attribute 1, attribute 2, value. And finally opening. So attributes are representing with opening tag or closing tag.
Opening tag.
Attribute is a part of opening tag. Okay. And this is closing tag. Closing tag will be like this. So you can write this in a different syntax also. Sometimes you can write this element like this also. Instead of closing tag directly you can close here also. So that depends. Some elements we have to write like this. Some elements you can write like this also. Means without closing tag immediately you are closing like this. Okay. So that is the story. Right. Now according to that, now come back to our how to create a button. You see. What is that? Input type equal to button, value equal to submit, ID equal to btn submit. Btn submit. Here input is what? Input is what?
Tag.
Tag.
Tag name.
Tag name. Type is what? Attribute 1. Button is what?
Attribute.
Value.
Value.
Value is what? Attribute 2. Attribute 2. Submit is what?
Value of
Value of
attribute.
that attribute. ID is what? Attribute. btn submit is what?
Value of ID.
Value of ID. Okay. Type equal to button means browser will create the button control. Value means the content of the button. ID is nothing but identification of the total element, like your roll number. And generally IDs will be buttons means prefix btn, text box means txt, and like that. Submit because it is a submit button. This is the code will create what?
Button.
Create a button.
A button control. So my question is I want to create a button in my web page. Where should write this code? Within the body or head?
Body tag.
In the body.
Within the body. You can see. Now you can see. Mute. Somewhere I'm getting noise. Okay, now you run the page. When the page is loading, you can observe. When the page is loading, body will execute. When body will be executing, this code will execute. The code is creating a control called. The code is creating a control called.
Button.
Button.
Control called. What is a control? Button. A particular code is creating a control called button. So that is the story. This is a way to create a button. Right. Can I give a small example? Will you write the
Yes,
code?
sir.
Yeah, you observe. Wait. Uh, I need a web page like this. I need a web page like this. Right. Two buttons I want to create. One button is previous. One button is next. Sukanya, mute yourself. Lot of noise from your end. Next. BTN preview. BTN preview. And BTN next. Come on, write the code.
It's 20 hours.
Now I need to create two buttons. First button is BTN preview. Second button is BTN next. Yeah, Urmil, mute yourself. Yeah, two buttons code where we should write the two buttons code where we should write header body on.
Body section.
Come on.
Body section.
And
Right. Over.
Yes, sir.
Right. Tell me. Input type equal to button. Value equal to what?
Previous. PREV.
BTN equal to
ETN PREV.
preview. Next. Input
So type equal to button.
button.
Value equal to next.
Hmm.
ID equal to BTN next.
BTN next. Any break tag is required or not required?
Yes, sir.
not required.
Not required.
Not required. Save.
Some space.
Right. Save and run the page. Created all of you. Understood?
Yeah.
Done now? All of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In this way we can create a control called button. Next, come back to the next HTML control is text box control. Text box. What we can do by using text box? What we can do
User information.
We can take text input from the user.
in text box, we can accept to input from the user as well as we can display output to the user. Using text box, we can accept input from the user as well as we can display output to the user. We can accept. So when we will go for text box, whenever we want to accept input or want to display output to the user. How to create text box? How to create text box? Right. Input type equal to text. ID equal to, let's say, text box 1. Text box 1. Let's say size. Size means width. Okay, right. Input type equal to text, ID equal to text box 1, size equal to 20. Here a type is what? Attribute. ID is what? Attribute. Size is also attribute. Now this code you can observe. Now you can observe. Text box is created or not created?
Create,
Hello?
created.
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 Right.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
right. Like this. So I want to write a HTML program like this. Right. Take this design, all of you. Take any web page I am designing, immediately use pen and paper beside you. Right. And whatever design I am giving you, just take the design on your book. And whenever I am asking you to write the code, you write. You have to write. Because if I will clear the design, you don't have any design with you. Immediately. Are you using pen, all of you? Pen is there? Pen and paper is there?
Yes, sir.
Right now?
Yes, sir.
Right now onwards, compulsory you should have used pen and paper with you. Every day you need to have a in front of you your ASP.NET book, interview question bank, and the right side pen and book should be there because all web pages design will be there. Enter your name, take it all of you, enter your name, and here you have a control called text box. That ID is txt name. That ID is txt name, and the button is what? Submit. Button is what? Submit. BTN submit. Come on, write the code, all of you.
So enter your name part will be a label also, or it will be a text box.
See, design is in front of you. You too. I have given very clear design. You try and write the code. It is a normal text. It is a text box. It is a button. Means user has to enter some name here. And you will click the submit button. I am not expecting anything should happen.
Done, sir.
You are developing normal simple HTML web pages. So first cycle ride, then bike ride. Right now we are on cycle ride. That too very small cycle, three-wheel cycle, like when we are in kids, we'll use three-wheel cycle. Now that's three-wheel cycle we are riding now. After some time, maybe tomorrow, we'll remove the third wheel and we'll make it two-wheel. Two-wheel small, two-wheel medium size, two-wheel big cycle. Next, we'll remove the cycle, we'll get into bike. Come on, Ora?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that hands-on coding, markup coding is very, very important. I don't know you are doing or not. Yes, come on, enter your name. Input type equal to, come on, text ID equal to what?
TXT name
Txt name, size equal to
30.
something. Next word, break,
Break. Input type button.
break, use some breaks. Next word, input
Input type button.
but
Value equal to submit.
value equal to
ID
submit.
ID equal to BTN submit.
ID equal to BTN submit. Save. This is the code. ID equal to BTN submit. This is the code. Over. Okay, all of you, right? Huh? Right. This is the code will create your web page like this. You see, run the page. Whenever you run the page, you can observe how this code. When the page is loading, which section will execute? Body or header?
Body section.
Enter your name. Enter your name. You can see. Enter your name. Normal text as it is. Next, after this, what is that? It will text box code. This code will create a text box. This code will create a text box. It will create a text box. Okay. Next to, after this, what you have done? Line by line execution. This also break. First break will move the cursor to, come on. First break will move the cursor to which line? This line to
Next.
this line here.
Next.
Here. This clarity is important. Next, after this, one more break. One more break. This break will move the cursor to, this break will move
Next
the
one.
cursor to, what is that? Next line. After this, control will execute what? After this,
Input type button.
button. Button code will create a which control? Button control. It will create a button control. It will create a button control. That's it. Are you able to do?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how many are able to do as it is? No issues, sir. Markup code.
Prithvi?
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right. Your pen paper is important here. And whenever I have given a design that you have to take you have to take clearly. And whenever I am asking you to write in notepad, you have to write. Okay. And don't expect that I'll give you more programs to you also. That is also not possible because we have time constraint is there. So whenever I have given a chance, immediately you have to write. Okay. Right. Next, one more example. I want like this. A web page should be like this. Enter first number. Enter first number. There is a text box. Are you taking design, all of you?
Yeah.
Who are taking design?
Prithvi?
Yes, sir.
Everybody, I'll check through.
Sukarna.
I'll check you through webcam now. Come on,
Sukarna.
get ready. I'll make you to on webcam one by one. I will check your design you are taking because it is very important and very effective. Otherwise, you can't understand this web programming. Enter second number. I'm going to check. Make your webcams get ready. Whenever I'll say you have to on. Right. And you have to show me your design. Handwritten design I want. Enter second number. txt num2. txt num2. txt num2. Next, first number, second number. Here you have a button. Button is what? Add. Add. And what is the idea of the button? btn add. btn add. And here result is result is result is one text box. Result is one text box. That is txt res. txt res. txt res. Okay, na? Right. Yes. Taken design, all of you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everybody done on paper design.
Doing, sir.
Design done.
Doing, sir.
Design on paper. First design on paper. That is important for me. Have you taken design on paper? Now go for
Yes, sir,
coding.
sir.
Now go for coding. Now go for coding. Prithvi, have taken design on paper?
Yeah, I already started the program.
Oh, is it? Come on, write the code, all of you.
Sir, I didn't complete writing the design. Can you show one more time?
That is the reason. That is the reason. We'll do one thing. Okay. Right. Who can show the design? Who has done paper? On your webcam, anyone? Who can on your webcam? Prithvi, can you?
Yeah, but you can't
Okay.
understand my rate. I'm ready, but
Don't want to see you, man. We don't want to see you. We want to see your. Yes. Right. Okay. 1 minute. Who is this? Oh, sorry. Again, on it. One more time. Babu, Girish, you take it. Girish, you take it. Is it clear? Hmm. Yeah. Okay, madam. You can. Nivedita, na? Sorry. Vasundhara. Yeah, you can off. Very clear webcam is. I think I will on my webcam whenever teaching it. Webcam is required for teaching.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, clear. Did you, Girish? Did you take it?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
Shall I do? Otherwise, I'll do it because
That's
I think your kids also learning .NET. It seems. Huh?
My daughter is learning, sir.
Yeah, which class?
She is 6 years old. She is in kindergarten now.
Okay. I think if they are fifth class standard, people can understand what I am telling.
No, actually, my daughter will be reading all this and she'll be telling, Amma, your sir is telling something.
Okay, then great. TXT num1 guys, and enter second number. Enter second number. Enter second number. Okay, Girish, understood? Up to here. TXT num2. TXT num2. Num2. Click. When I am teaching, are you expecting my video? Really, video is very clear. When video is there, is it useful? We will see one day.
Yeah, sir.
Now, when I am explaining, expressions are matter. Huh? We will see one day with video. If it is good, then we'll continue. Hmm?
yeah, it's done.
Written now, all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. See, you are developing web pages. Observed, started developing what web programming. Web page development is started. Right. Are you able to write, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Very good. All of you. Guys, Arun develop written program. Arun written program.
Yes, sir, I did.
Are you able to write? Right.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, guys. Now you tell me the code. Enter what first number? Enter first number. Come on.
Input
Type
type equal to text.
right. Input type equal to text. Right. ID equal to
ID equal to text num1.
number. Size if you optional.
Size equal
Size is optional. Minimum it will have 20, I think. Break. Again. Break. And this code will create. Enter second number. TXT num2. TXT num2. Yes. Next. What is this? Break. Again, break is required.
Yes.
Required. Why? Because after text box again you have to move to the next lines, right? Here what is the control?
input type equal to button.
Button.
Value equal to add.
Value equal to add.
ID equal to btn add.
BTN add. Right. Again.
Break.
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 Again.
Break.
Break.
Result is
result
Result to
input type equal
text.
id equal to txt res id equal to txt res. Right, next
Size equal to 30.
is equal to some size. Okay, this is the code. Save. Now you can observe, right? Right, you can run this HTML program. You can observe another HTML program. You can observe your page is ready. How this code is executing also important here, not only writing. How this code is executing also matter here. When the page is loading, body will execute first. This code up to here will create
Control.
one text box. It will create one text box. Okay, up to here it will create one text box. Next, after that, this two breaks. Because of two breaks, it will move. First break will move from here to here. Second break move from here to here. Here also, that line by line understanding tracing is very, very important. Now you can observe. After this, control will execute. Right, this code will create second text box. Second text box is created now. Second text box is created. Next to, after creating the second text box, again break and break. These two breaks will be moving the cursor to. These two breaks will be moving the cursor to here. One break here, one break here. Next, after this, control will execute add button code. This is creating add button, and after add button also you can observe two breaks. Okay, so the two breaks are doing what? Two breaks are moving to here to here, here to here. Next, after that, the text box code is creating. This code is creating text box. This is the story. Are you clear, all of you?
Yeah.
Clear, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You do one thing. What I need here, I need some more tasks from your side. Can you try by tomorrow?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
You should be here next time going to radio button, checkbox. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, these 2 days we can complete HTML and JavaScript. Maybe tomorrow means, day after tomorrow means your Friday class. Next Monday we'll start our actual ASP.NET. But meanwhile, you should be comfort in markup coding like anything, hands-on. Like should not have a confusion. Some tasks I'm going to give you. Are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's see. Task 1. Yeah. Develop login page and all with the help of HTML. Did you remember login page? Login page will have how many text boxes?
Two text boxes.
Text boxes. How many buttons?
Okay.
One button.
That's enough. That's enough. Okay, na? See, wherever you are identified a not covered control, you don't not required. Just you develop the web page according to our require. We know only two controls now. One is text box, one is button. With that, next to develop one sign up page. Possible?
Yes, sir.
Develop one sign up. Sign up means what?
New account.
New account registration. So suppose there are some drop down list radio button, leave it, remove that control. Just you develop according to whatever you know. Task 3, develop change password page. Come on, possible? Change password. You have to check in Gmail. You will get all these pages, Gmail or Facebook. Are you understanding what I'm asking you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So జాగ్రత్తగా వెళ్దాం అంటే starting I'll not go 2 hours because that is not recommended. Maybe it will take some time, but yeah, you have to work on all these tasks. Then only you can you will be feel free. When you entered into ASP.NET also, most of the people will encourage the people to do drag and drop. I will not encourage. You have to write the complete markup code there also. Task 4 is develop forget password. Forgot password page. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Forgot password. Forgot password. Next to task 5. Develop fund transfer page. Fund transfer page. Whenever we are transferring the funds, first enter and instead of select here, you write enter your account number, enter your friend account number, enter amount and submit. Transfer. Clear?
Yes, yes.
Right? Yeah. This 5 pages I need by tomorrow. You have to develop. And you do the decorations according to your requirement. You can keep headings H1, H2. Suppose login page of Gmail. You can keep H1 with Gmail like that. Okay. Then we will start remaining controls tomorrow. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
And coming to yesterday exam, somebody I think didn't have the paper. I was busy and not feeling well since 2-3 days after went to native place. I was not well. That's why I am unable to send to you, and who requested for paper I'll send you today. And what about remaining people completed exams? Send me.
I submitted it today, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one question about that exam.
Tell me.
The bank account thing gave us to design. That initially, while account creation, you said that minimum value would be 500. So that I had a confusion because even if I either I can create a property and put the check in there, and then use that property in the while creating. I mean, I didn't understand where should I put the check.
That you have to think. That is what requirement here.
Because if I put the check in the property and then in the constructor I put the property, then it will check, but the account will be created with 0 value. But we don't need that, right? Then we'll have to put that code check in main.
Simple here. Bank employee is my friend, and actually bank rule is minimum account balance should be 500. But he is trying to create account for me with 100 rupees balance. But application should not allow me. Application should display error message. You cannot create a account without minimum balance of 500. Please enter minimum balance 500. This validation you have to write. Where we should write, you have to think. First of all, here which is class, which is object, you have to recognize. Next, bank create account logic, where we should write, you should think. Okay. I have given very.
Okay, sir. I have written, sir. I'll send you the code. I mean, I have sent the design and code also. I have.
That's why I'm telling you. In that example, what is the class? You tell me.
Bank account class.
Account is the class. Just
account is the class.
My account and your accounts are what? Objects. Right?
Objects.
Right?
Yes.
Account ACT1 equal to new account of 111 Rama. Account number is 111. My name is Rama. And I entered 100. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Here, account creation means nothing but object creation. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So that initialization code we should write within the constructor.
Constructor.
Within the.
So I have written.
No, we have within the constructor you are passing 111 Rama 1000.
Okay.
111 Rama 1000. 111 Rama 1000. So sorry, 100. 100 means,
100.
but actually balance can be 100.
No.
No.
Minimum 500.
Within the constructor you have to write the logic to validate balance should be 500.
So if it fails, that check fails, then what will happen? The construction, I mean,
Immediately again that constructor has to ask the user, Babu, your balance, your entered amount is wrong. Please enter, re-enter some other amount.
While condition is needed.
Yeah, that's it. That we have to catch here. Repetition until user will enter. Generally, whenever you are entering some invalid input, what application will ask you? Come on, please enter, please enter. How long? Until you will enter valid input. Right? Huh?
Yes, sir.
okay. But if he doesn't enter valid input anytime, then what will
continue? Application will not continue.
Yeah, but when he wants to withdraw amount and while withdrawing, if the balance is going less than
also my balance is reason. My balance is I have amount in my account only 1000 rupees, but minimum balance should be how much? 500. Okay, but I am trying to withdraw 2000. Is it possible?
No.
No, if I entered 2000, then that method has to ask me, no, please enter less than whatever amount you entered because minimum balance should be 500. Then I entered because 1000 is my balance, my account balance, but you are asking me to the, but I entered 1000. No, not possible. How much amount you can withdraw if I have a balance of 1000? Only 500. 500. The logic has to.
method part I understood, like withdraw, but for the constructor, say it will try for 10 times. After that, what will happen? Like the object will not be created. Can the constructor fail or something?
100 times until user will enter valid value. That logic has to repeatedly ask the user. Okay. While loop.
Oh, okay.
While loop.
Okay. In the constructor, we'll put the while loop unless the it's giving a valid amount. It will keep on asking.
Yeah, because after while loop we are assigning read only to the balance.
Yeah, I mean we cannot stop the object creation. That is my question. Like if we say that okay,
object see, can I create a account? Account rule is 500 should be minimum balance. But can I create a account in a bank without 500? Is it possible or not possible?
Not possible.
Not possible. Not possible.
Possible. Same story. While loop intention is same story. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. And one more thing, I'm giving some tasks for you in C# also. You do one thing. Yeah. Totally interview question bank again. We have to do revision. Okay, na? And some topics we have to. I'll give you some random tasks for you. I don't want to leave you people. You are sitting idle at home. All of you guys, almost all. So repetition. You perfect in C#. I need art notes on data types by tomorrow. Can you send to me?
Yeah.
Again, one more time. Anyhow, you will not prepare, I know very well. That's why I'm making you to prepare. By tomorrow, whatever data types notes, primitive types, value types, reference types, complete chart notes, handwritten notes I want. You know, one thing, all my two Gmail accounts are what I can say, I'm not getting any mails. You know why? Because with your homeworks, inbox is full. That maximum GB is there, na memory space, it's over. I think. Okay. Those many mails I'm coming from your batch and old batches. Very good. But I don't know everybody are doing or not, but I need a short notes for data types by tomorrow. Can you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now in ASP we are in basic level. Meanwhile, my intention is let me touch C# also one more round, and then you will get more perfect. I need these short notes from data types by tomorrow. Okay, na? Right. Thank you very much, guys. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.